The morning mist clung to the ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching like weary arms towards a sky still heavy with slumber. Beneath its shadow, Elara sat, her gaze fixed on the worn leather pouch in her lap. Inside, nestled amongst a few smooth, grey pebbles, was her last silver coin. Its surface, once bright, was now dulled by countless transactions, each one chipping away at her hopes. Elara's small village, nestled in the valley of Whisperwind, had once been vibrant, sustained by fertile lands and the laughter of its people, but a season of unrelenting drought had withered the crops, silenced the streams, and choked the spirit of the villagers. Now, only whispers of hardship and the rumble of empty stomachs filled the air. "What good are you?" Elara murmured to the coin, tracing its faded crest. "You vanish as quickly as you appear, a fleeting promise of sustenance, only to be swallowed by the next hungry mouth or the next demanding bill." Her voice was a dry rustle, much like the parched leaves that skittered across the dusty ground. "Why do you favor the coffers of the wealthy, flowing like a boundless river to them, yet drying to a mere dewdrop when you reach my grasp? What spell must I cast to make you stay, to make you grow?" She pressed the coin between her thumb and forefinger, feeling the cold metal a stark contrast to the burning desperation in her heart. A faint, almost imperceptible tremor ran through the coin, followed by a sensation, not a sound, but a knowing in her mind. "Elara," it seemed to hum, "I am but a tool. My purpose is to serve, but only when guided by wisdom." Elara blinked, startled. She looked around, convinced the fatigue was playing tricks on her mind. "Who said that?" she whispered, her voice barely audible above the gentle rustle of the wind. The sensation came again, stronger this time, emanating directly from the coin in her hand. "It is I, Elara, your last silver coin. You accused me of fleeting, but you never asked me to work for you. You only asked me to disappear." Elara stared at the coin, her mind reeling. "Work for me? How can a coin work?" The silent communication continued. "You spend me on immediate needs, food, shelter, remedies, and these are necessary, yes, but you never consider planting me, nurturing me, allowing me to multiply. You work tirelessly for me, Elara, but if you learn to make me work for you, your life, and perhaps even the lives of your village, could transform." Hope, a fragile seedling, began to stir within Elara's parched heart. "Can you truly multiply?" she asked, her voice hushed with awe. "Only if you believe, and only if you act with purpose. Take me, Elara, and do not spend me. Invest me." With newfound determination, Elara rose. She walked through the quiet village, past empty stalls and solemn faces, towards the edge of the sunken market, a place where humble tradespeople bartered their wares. Her eyes fell upon a small, unassuming stall laden with vibrant, freshly dyed threads. The old weaver, with hands gnarled by years of work, sat patiently. Elara approached, her heart thrumming. She used her last silver coin not to buy a finished garment, but to purchase several skeins of the brightest, most resilient thread, enough to mend many garments. The sun beat down, but a different kind of warmth now bloomed within her. She returned to her small cottage, a humble dwelling with a single sturdy loom. With meticulous care, Elara began to weave. She didn't craft a grand tapestry, but instead focused on small, sturdy patches and intricate borders, perfect for mending the worn clothes of her neighbors. She offered her services not for a fixed price, but for a small share of whatever harvest or resource her neighbors could spare when their fortunes turned. The first few days were slow, but word spread of Elara's delicate handiwork and her fair terms. Soon, a trickle of villagers came, then a steady stream. Her neighbors, grateful for mended clothes that could withstand another season, offered her eggs, a handful of dried berries, a small portion of their meager grains. Elara carefully saved a portion of these offerings and, with the rest, sustained herself. One afternoon, a young shepherd approached her, his cloak torn from a skirmish with a wild thorn bush. He offered her a small, perfectly carved wooden flute in exchange for her work. Instead of keeping it, Elara remembered the coin's message. She took the flute to the sunken market and traded it for a small quantity of rare, vibrant pigments. With these pigments, she began to add delicate, colorful embroideries to the mended garments, turning simple repairs into cherished pieces of art. The villagers were delighted, and her reputation blossomed. Soon, people from neighboring hamlets sought her out. Her initial investment of a single silver coin had begun to sprout. Months passed. Elara's small cottage, once quiet, now buzzed with activity. She hired 2 young apprentices from the village, teaching them her skills, giving them purpose. She invested in more looms, better threads, and even started a small market stall where her beautifully mended and embellished garments were highly sought after. Her village, once on the brink of despair, slowly began to reclaim its vitality. The whispers of hardship were gradually replaced by the hum of industry and the gentle rhythm of hope. One evening, as she counted her earnings, a growing pile of silver and even some gold, Elara smiled. She picked up a shining new silver coin, its surface bright and unblemished. "You were right, my friend," she whispered, remembering the initial conversation. "You do speak, but only when we learn to listen and to make you work." This story is not about the literal voice of a coin. It is about the profound shift in perspective that can unlock a world of possibilities. We often perceive our resources, be it money, time, skills, or opportunities, as fleeting things to be used up. We lament their scarcity, blaming external circumstances for their rapid disappearance. But the truth is, the true power of any resource lies not just in its existence, but in how we choose to wield it. Each of us possesses a whispering seed in our lives, a small talent, a modest sum, a budding idea, a unique opportunity. Some people consume these seeds immediately, leaving nothing to grow. Others, however, choose to plant them with intention, nurturing them through effort, creativity, and wise investment. They understand that true abundance doesn't come from hoarding, but from making what little you have work tirelessly for you, allowing it to multiply and blossom. So, the next time you find yourself holding a small resource, be it a single coin, an hour of free time, or a nascent idea, ask yourself, will I merely spend this, or will I make it speak for me, transforming it into something greater?